Hello and welcome to the first monthly roundup I plan to do for Healing Arts, Health, and Wellness. This is the roundup for April 2021. So, what I wanted to do, I'm realizing now that everyone has different ways that they like to get their information. Some of us like to read, some of us prefer to listen, and some of us prefer to watch a video. So I thought it might be nice to come in once a month and I'll summarize everything I covered for the month and as well as let you all know what I have coming. So for this month, I decided to address the topic of anxiety. When I'm picking topics that I want to address for the website and for social media, a lot of it is going to be based on what I'm seeing in my clinical practice. Anxiety has always been a common presentation that people will come into the doctor for. So that's not terribly unusual. But unfortunately, since the pandemic, I had wondered if I would start to see this. And unfortunately, I do think I'm seeing a very much a large uptick in individuals experiencing their first rounds of anxiety or maybe having anxiety reoccur. Other topics I've addressed in a similar way: insomnia and weight gain. I like to pick topics that, although when they present clinically, that my experience has been that they're a holistic problem. They're really going to be just one symptom of a whole. So for that reason, I decided to address anxiety this month. So for the month of April, the first thing that we did was we addressed what it feels like to have anxiety. There is a podcast that came out around the 1st of April. I'm sorry, I'm checking my notes here, but where we first just addressed the basics of what anxiety is. And then I walked the listeners through how you can actually create anxiety in your body, which we often do with some of our habits we just don't think about very often. So if you'd like to navigate to Art of Healing podcast, I'll place the link in the notes to listen to those first two. And we can actually experience that right now. I described it in the podcast, but since I'm on video, we'll do it together. So what I wanted everyone to realize is that on a day-to-day basis, there are certain habits that we don't want to entertain if we can avoid it. And if we do them and we do them enough, you can create the feeling of anxiety, which can go on to become chronic anxiety. So how do we do that? So the first thing is, if you want to feel anxious right in the moment right now, you want to slump and pull your shoulders forward. So you want to make sure your back's kind of hunched. And then the next thing you want to do is take very short breaths, or even as I'm talking, hold your breath. So, actually just holding your breath, which a lot of us do out of habit. We don't even realize it. At the same time, you're going to tense the muscles of your face. And keep holding your breath. And make sure you slouch. So, you should be sitting with everything slouched forward. So by doing that, we can sort of play with the idea that it's very easy to create anxiety in our bodies by sitting slouched so we don't breathe very well, by holding tension in our face, and also by circulating thoughts on things that we can't change. So of course you can reverse that by sitting up and taking a deep breath and relaxing your face. So that's what we did in the podcast. And again, that's just a taste of it. Clinical anxiety, of course, is vastly different, a lot worse, of course, if you're living with that. On the blog, I put some information, and as well in the podcast, about ways to manage anxiety. So of course, if you suspect you're having anxiety, you're having symptoms, you're not sure, you really need to get diagnosed. I like to point that out to individuals because we can we can confuse moods, fleeting emotions, and real clinical anxiety that could make you sick. It's so easy to confuse all of those together. So I always encourage, if you're not seeing a care professional, try to get in with someone, so you can know if that's what you're suffering with. Um, in addition to whatever your treatment plan may be in the clinic, I always advise my own patients to consider doing everything they can at home to help. Because just like with insomnia and just like with weight gain, anxiety doesn't occur in a silo, it's occurring with other conditions. In the case of anxiety, it's usually going to be needing management of stress. Also, for this month, since I decided to focus on the topic of anxiety, and I do have an announcement later about this, but I created a free ebook which you can download. I'll make sure to put the link in the notes for this video. There's also links on my social media on Instagram if you click the link in bio. And I believe it shows up on my website. I think there's a post that's going to be 9 ways to ground your energy. Grounding is a term we use it's used in energy medicine, meditation, yoga, Reiki, and it's basically going to be bringing excessive energy down to the ground. As I discussed in the podcast, chakra blocks and anxiety, which is my favorite. I really love to look energy center by energy center when looking at some of these. So I believe that's the third podcast of the month is which chakras are blocked that create insomnia. So one of the things we discovered is that typically when someone is having anxiety, they have too much energy in their brain, in their third eye. It's not necessarily productive, so it's creating a sense of anxiety by fueling thoughts and sort of redirecting someone's attention to the future and the past and to things they can't really control, which is why they're becoming anxious. So when we're grounding, we're trying to bring that energy down to the ground, is how we state it. But what that does for us is it helps to bring us into our bodies and into the here and now. So please check the notes as well as the website if you'd like to download a free copy of 9 Ways to Ground Your Energy. I'm hoping to create a freebie every month, but that was one that was really a lot of fun to create. Some of the exercises that I perform myself to ground my own energy. And finally, for my first announcement is when I decided to create this site, there were a number of reasons that fueled it, but one of the biggest ones is I was often sharing with my patients, my family, my friends, acquaintances, that meditation, Reiki, these kind of things are easily accessible and they can help all of us. They can help any one of us. I found over the years that I was often sending people away to different sites. And so it's sort of, my message was losing its strength. So I finally had to sort of step into the light and present the message myself. Reiki, which is energy medicine, which if you've looked at any of my other content, you know that I frequently discuss, was one of the healing modalities I had very much wanted to offer. I very much wanted to have available to individuals. So at the Healing Arts, Health and Wellness, under programs, for individuals that are ready, were looking, or if you're watching and you happen to know someone that said they wanted to learn Reiki, I have created the first level of Reiki. It's an online training program in which you will receive a certificate when you're done. It is now available. It's now complete. I will have available training all the way up to Reiki Master coming very soon. So Reiki 2 and Reiki Master will be coming soon. And I'll also be offering, and these are to come later because I'm still working on them, training in animal Reiki. So I'm so excited to announce that my first Reiki course is now available. You can sign up, or if you know someone that likes to sign up. Of course, I know this is not for everyone, but keep in mind that when I created this website, I really wanted to be able to offer people that were interested a way. There's so many ways to learn Reiki, and I think there's all kinds of wonderful options. So I'm so happy that I have one to offer. And my last announcement is that fairly soon, my first book, 21 Day Meditation Journey, should be available on Kindle. So if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter so I can let you know, the 21 Day Meditation Journey is daily guidance, brief meditation exercises for beginners or even anyone that's advanced, some meditations that I incorporate throughout my day. And this particular journey also helps you to explore your own energy body. So there's certain days set aside for each chakra, and then it lasts for 21 days. So I'm really excited about that, and I will make sure to announce everywhere I can think of. I often share with listeners, I'm not the most tech savvy, but I will make sure to share on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube when the book is complete and published. And for the month of May 2021, should be very exciting. I've got some podcast episodes with some really fascinating guests. So I would definitely encourage you to sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss an episode. I've got a health coach. I've got a professional Reiki master that's starting a really awesome program for clients that are ready to take the next step. I've got some just great podcast guests coming up, so it should be very exciting. I will be speaking at a conference that's taking place virtually in the month of May as well. But I'm so excited. The podcast is fun to create, but I really think for you listeners, you'll want to listen in to the guests that are joining me. Healing Arts, healthandwellness.com. I'm on Instagram at Charlize Healing Arts. And you can find me on Facebook as charlize.davis. Thank you so much for joining me. Please feel free, or please like, subscribe, and share. I am not going to even lie. I'm a beginner at all this. I'm a beginner at YouTube. I'm a beginner at creating content. So I do appreciate your time and your support. And I'll see you next month. Thanks.